Good morning, Sunday. Hi, everybody. And I'm here with your wonderful psychic that you love that I collab with, Sterling. Hi, Sterling.
Good morning, everybody, or good evening, wherever you are. Good morning. Good to be back in the Linda camp, as they say. Yeah.
I had to cancel our last Sunday last month, but go ahead.
Yeah, and I was just going to say at the top of the show here, I just want to send out a sincere thanks. We actually reached a milestone on the channel. We pushed over 100,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, and just a sincere thanks. Linda, you and I talk all the time, but I want to be public with the fact that I really appreciate everything you did. Going back 4 or 5 years ago now, when you said, you really need to have your own YouTube channel. So you were really the instigator, and really helped a great deal, a lot of care and attention. So thanks very much for all of that. And I always acknowledge Hyperledger on our channel. She does all the timestamps, has been for like 5 years. Very diligent. So really wonderful support out there. So Lynn and I send our sincere thanks, both to you and Hyperledger as well. Yeah.
And I get to talk to Linda on and off, and she's so cool. And
hmm
she's the one that helped pick out these questions. She knows she's the best one because she knows what you've already been asked.
Yeah, and we're getting like it's about 800 questions on our YouTube channel a week, sometimes 1,000. Then we had 200 on your channel. So it does take somebody to kind of go through it and say, okay, what questions have been answered, so you don't duplicate all the questions and kind
Yeah.
of vet them out a little bit. Yeah.
Because I do collabs, and a lot of the collabs, they're repeating the same question. So that's
hmm
kind of cool how she makes sure that doesn't happen. So thank you, Linda, for the questions. So are you ready, my friend?
Always ready.
Okay. Oh, are you still doing readings? Are you booked?
Yeah, all booked for about 2 years. So it's kind of crazy. There may be some slots that open up first or second quarter of next year, just based on my travel schedule. So if that happens, I told all the members, our platinum members, I'll announce it to them first, and then we'll go out publicly. So yeah, the schedule's kind of packed. Yeah,
Yeah, that
thankfully, but it's yeah,
you see why I can't do it anymore. And it would
exactly.
go, the 1 year would go up like that. It's just too much. I mean, I'm old, so okay, here we go. Will Kamala's book tour and interviews provide an opportunity for more truth to come out before the 2024 election?
I get 100% that as she does more and more interviews and more of the truth comes out, you get Election Truth Alliance and you've got Anonymous and various other groups, even worldwide. As more of that information comes out and is publicly discernible, I do think she'll lean in and offer up some comments about confusion during the election night or the week after the elections and things weren't adding up. Yeah, I think she'll lean into it very gracefully. She's allowing doesn't want to get too far ahead of it, is what I get. So.
Right. I don't know if this question is in there. Do you think she'll run again for the next
No,
presidential election?
no,
Okay. I didn't
no.
feel that either,
No,
but I,
that ship sailed. My team said a few months ago that ship sailed. Um, yeah, but she laid groundwork. Much the same way Hillary Clinton did, laid groundwork for the eventual, female president. So
yeah.
it's all helpful. It's all helpful.
You know what's weird? I had a dream. I told everybody about it that I was in working on her campaign. I was
hmm
in a building and we were there for the numbers to come in. And Mike Walsh won as president. And
Hmm.
everybody was like, Mike, you won. And we were shocked that Kamala didn't win. It was like, Mike, you won. And it was like, whoa, I didn't know they could do that, which they can't, but it was just a dream.
Yeah.
Okay. Unknown drones flew over airports in Denmark for the second time. Russia denies its involvement. Where do you think the drones are coming from?
It's a collaborative effort between Iran and Russia.
Yeah,
So this is a combined effort for surveillance, and they're actually pushing the envelope. It's an act of provocation, and I am getting that NATO forces will start shooting them down. So they're going to start shooting them
that's what
down.
I'm getting too. Yep. They're not messing.
Right.
And they're trying to act innocent and they're not. Okay. Will we find a viable alternative to Hakeem Jeffries before next election, or will he step up?
It's going to be another individual that's going to step in his place. I feel like he had kind of ran the course. Again, I think he laid some very good groundwork, but for some reason, he won't be the one that gets the ball over the wall, so to speak. There'll
Yeah.
be somebody else coming up now that's actually going to be quite strong. And
Female?
yeah, what?
Female?
Male. I'm seeing another
Okay.
male. Yeah,
So
but
go ahead.
notwithstanding, there's some very strong female energy in Congress that's eventually going to have their time in place too. So
Awesome.
it's all coming. Yeah,
So
Jasmine Crockett, AOC. Yeah.
yeah. Well, the thing is, Crockett's not going to have a seat, but by what Texas did, unless that gets fought in court.
Yeah, that's true. But she's going to have a place eventually in Congress
Geez,
again.
God damn it.
Yeah,
So, but this will happen when they probably November of next year, right?
exactly.
And
Well, leading up.
they're gonna have to
Yeah,
vote for a new one, and it won't be him. Okay.
exactly. Yeah.
I'm from Kentucky. Will it be possible for Governor Andy Beshear to fill Mitch McConnell's seat?
I get 100%.
Yay! Was Jesus a real human performing healings through his training and insightfulness? His teachings are simply very evolved and loving.
Well, I get 100% Homo sapien sapien, but having like being a very old soul, like several thousand reincarnations. So he was definitely in a human form down here, but very connected to the other side. He understood how healing energy worked, how to bring through information from the other side, from the one source, the one force. So very much a Homo sapien sapien. Yeah.
Okay,
But but so people refer to him as ascended masters, and what I always tell people, there've been hundreds of ascended masters down here on Earth. He got a lot of prominence, and that's great. But people look past the fact that there's actually hundreds of ascended masters have been through history, and people look past them. So it's
yeah.
okay.
Will Texas remove or oust Governor Greg Abbott in the next gubernatorial election? And will they establish term limits for governors moving forward?
Yeah, it looks like he's going to run again and win again. Yeah, looks to me like he's going to get it. It's almost like threading an eye of the needle. It's like that last three foot touchdown, getting it over the line. Looks like it may be hard fought, but he actually gets it over the line. As far as term limits go, in Texas per se, it looks like it's still to me like a decade out for term limits. They'll get
Okay.
there, but it looks like at the very last minute, Abbott gets it over the finish line. Yeah.
But does he get it through because it's fair and square, or does he manipulate something?
It's the latter. It's the
Okay.
latter. It's all of a sudden here's a box of votes that
Yeah,
weren't counted, or we lost a truckload of votes, or that's where that last minute little move happens that gets them over the finish line. Yeah.
right. Will there ever be a universal basic income?
In the US, we're talking about, I assume. Yeah, maybe in the US.
Well, universal must be the world.
Well, no, I think
What's in the
yeah,
US?
well, the US per se, it does not look like that's going to happen for a good 20 years. But when I say universal basic income, that means everybody gets an income regardless of, ethnicity, race, citizenship, no obligation, no ties. That's probably not going to happen for at least 2 decades in the US. There'll be
Okay.
other
It did
social
say US.
programs.
Sorry, I didn't
Oh,
see.
great, great. No problem. Yeah, it's actually, they'll eventually get here within about 2 decades in the US. There'll be other social programs that'll bolster Social Security and, Medicare and all these kinds of programs. They'll bolster those, but universal basic income, not for about 2 decades.
Okay. Will there be advanced treatments in organ transplant anytime, specifically kidney transplant?
Yeah, I see actually two big major milestones happening there. One is in major advances in rejection medication. So it's like whatever's going on now is actually going to be like tenfold better in rejection. So almost like zero rejection of implanted organs. And
Yeah.
then within about 8 to 10 years, maybe a little faster here, 3D printed biological organs. And there's like two things happening here that are going to be very beneficial in that area.
Okay, here's a good one. Will low-income California seniors with Section 8 housing see themselves kicked out of their homes on or before January 1st, 2027?
I see it's going to have a very minimal effect. So what I mean by that is maybe 1 to 2% will somehow fall into that category. It's a very small percentage that will actually be quote unquote kicked out, but there'll be some other mechanism in the economy to help them, something else to pick up the slack. And I'm just hearing from my team it's like 1 to 2% will be affected. So it's not like half of them or 80%. No.
Wow. Okay. Has full ET disclosures already started?
100%. 100%. Everybody can now look up in the sky, for example, in a very rural area where you can see the stars if you don't have a lot of city lights. Aim your mobile phone up at the sky with your camera and ask to be acknowledged. Ask so if you're out there, give me a flash. A lot of people are experiencing that now. My team is saying that's the way they're going to start to get people comfortable. So, you'll see a flash of light, for example, looking through your phone, like a little, maybe a star, and say, if that's really you, flash twice. And they'll go bunk, bunk. They'll flash
Right.
twice.
That's
So you
exciting.
can actually start the communication is starting now.
Right. The Secret Service recently dismantled a covert illegal telecommunications operation that could block all emergency services and communication systems such as cell phones in New York, firearms, drugs, and guns for hire. Can you see who is involved in this covert group?
Well, now here again, this is a collaboration between Iran and Russia, actually
Okay.
trying to take down. And several weeks ago, I was doing a reading on some of this. And they said there was some sort of a covert action, infrastructure covert action by like a sleeper cell in New York. So it looks like this is kind of what played
That's
out
what
here.
that's talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, that people were reminding me that I said there's some kind of a sleeper cell terrorist operation. It's not an explosion, but it's something here really trying to disrupt infrastructure. And so they uncovered it. Yeah, good for
Wow.
them.
Will the pharmaceutical company that produces Tylenol sue the 45 administration for based on admit for misinformation based on research?
Yeah, 100%. I think that lawsuit has already started. It's already started. Um, it's interesting. The company behind Tylenol, and I don't know, is it Bristol Myers Squibb? I don't
I
know.
think it is.
I
Yeah.
don't have my medications down, but if it is, they're actually going to win that lawsuit. They're going to have a very sizable judgment. Yeah,
Because it's based on hearsay. It's got nothing to do with science.
yeah,
I
absolutely.
can't, you know what? May I say, you guys, Tylenol does nothing for me. I've been trying to take Tylenol most of my life, and I can't take it because it doesn't do. If I have a headache, I'll still have it. My drug of
Mhm.
choice is Motrin or Aleve or something. Okay, Ryan Walters, Oklahoma's former superintendent of public schools, who stepped down September 2025, is destroying education in Oklahoma. What do you see happening to him?
I get he's going to get sidelined. So, like, there's a lot of upheaval. He's still going to try to create chaos, like from the sideline. But I'm hearing he's going to get sidelined. So, kind of minimize or mitigate a lot of the things he's trying to do. Like, he might make suggestions about the school system, but now that he's stepped down, it'll just be a lot of noise. So, he's going to create a lot of noise. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, they saw him looking at porn. That's terrible.
Mhm.
What do you see for James Comey?
Well, unfortunately, a kind of a long extended trial. Looks like there will go to trial,
Oh,
and he'll
okay.
be he'll be vindicated, but it's going to get dragged out. And now, even after 45's out of office, the train will have left the station. That case is like going to go on.
Really?
It's gonna be
And
it's gonna be
the
yeah
judge in the case just made a comment to that gal that he picked and said, I'm not quite sure what you're doing with this, but a lot of this doesn't make any sense.
yeah. For some reason, it looks like it does get legs. They do
Okay.
start a trial. Looks like it's kind of drawn out. In the end, he gets vindicated. Yeah.
They're trying to get a lot of other people too.
True. I think Comey made the comment in the press or media. He said, like, I'm the relationship he could never get over.
The truth. I'm not a
So
Comey
unfortunately.
fan, but he
Yeah.
could just turn around and say this is a, what do you call it, malicious prosecution. But I
He
think he
should,
wants it to
yeah.
go to trial.
Yeah. It looks like it's gonna go to trial to me. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and of course, us taxpayers will pay for this.
Mhm.
Are we going through a split in timelines where some people are aligning with 5D and others are staying with 3D?
No, and we talk about this all the time on these shows. So, people to define the D in the 3D or the 5D, it's not dimension we're talking about. We're talking about what they call density or energetic level. And so everybody's like on a progressive increase here. Everybody's becoming awake and the veil's getting thinner. But it's not a split in timeline. Now, there are people that won't evolve. And I dissuade people from using the term 3D, 4D, 5D. It's really a progressiveness that people can become awakened. Some
Yeah,
people will drag their feet and say, I don't believe anything. And that's okay. That's their choice. I always tell even sometimes, some atheists that don't believe in anything on their side, before they're going to hit by a bus, somebody or something yells out, look out. And that's their guides. You
that's
go
their
like
guide.
nobody was around. So even if you don't believe in the other side, it's there.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a progression.
Are we going to need money after 2050?
So there'll always be a need like for an exchange of value in society. Exchange of value. I mean, cave people, cave women, cavemen were doing it with rocks, right? There'll always be a way to exchange value in society, which will quote unquote be kind of money. But the whole system will be digitized. So it's not going to be nothing physical, but it'll be digitized and a lot of blockchain technology, distributed ledger technology behind the scene. Yeah, we'll have money. It just the value exchange will be done in a different way digitally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sterling, did the ETs make this planet?
No, the one source, the one force created the universe. That is the creation. Now, the moon is different. The moon is actually a physical anomaly that was created by extraterrestrials as a way station. So
Wow,
the moon's different, but the
I
Earth
love it.
is, yeah.
When the S in Ames is implemented, will the padded votes of senators and congressmen and congresswomen be removed from Congress? What?
I guess that question's about, yeah, when we finally get to the separation phase, when all the evidence is out there, will the Congress people that actually benefited by the electronic election interference
Yeah.
also be removed? They will. There'll actually be consequences to them as well. Now, it's not going to be 100% across the board. It's at least one third to one half will actually come on direct conflict because actually when I'm getting the results will be so clear. It's like your alternate candidate won by a 3-1 margin. No wonder, there was something wrong here. Others will be like close calls.
Okay.
Like so one third to one half will get replaced right away. Yeah.
Hey, can I ask you, because I don't see it on here. Is Pam Bondi going to lose her law license?
Eventually.
Okay.
Eventually. Yeah. But
I
there'll be a
kept
lot.
seeing it happening, but I'm not sure when.
Yeah, and there'll be a lot of people that will try to prevent that from happening to try to keep her in there as long as possible until she's like, to use it, like burned to a crisp. You know what I mean? Like nothing left of her. It's like, okay, now it doesn't matter whether she has her law license or not, so it's gone. But they're
Okay.
going to use her. Unfortunately, the administration's, using her like crazy.
I
So,
know.
and
And
I'm
it's
not saying
so
that she's
illegal. Yeah.
complicit. She's complicit, but they're absolutely using her. Yeah.
Will Lindsey Graham be reelected in 2026?
I see that there'll be a replacement coming in, a replacement. And actually, I feel I'm going record here saying it looks like a Democratic replacement.
Wow.
So it'll be a big sea
A big,
change,
yeah, I love it.
big shift change that, enough people will say, look, this has not been working out well at all. Yeah.
Um, are are we going to have a government shutdown?
I don't see it. I
You
see
don't
it's going
see
to
it.
go, I see it's going to go right up to the edge and they're going to go like, just kidding. So,
Well,
right up to the edge again. And then they're going to do something. I read on this last week, like a stopgap measure of some kind. Maybe they don't pass a CR, continuing resolution right away, but some sort of a stopgap measure. And remember, even if you say you're going to shut down the government, there's a lag effect, right? So it doesn't shut down instantaneously. So it looks like they're going to save it at the last minute.
the Mike Johnson's little show, and he's telling everybody to go home. They wanted to shut down, basically.
Mhm.
But the Democrats, all they're asking for is please save people so they can keep their benefits, their
Right,
health care. So,
right.
and maybe if the Democrats say, okay, fine, we're going to do it this way, but myself feel like there's going to be a shutdown. I don't know how long it'll last, but that's
And
my
yeah, and I fully respect that. What I just keep getting from my team is like at the last minute they're going to save it and do some stopgap measure. That's what they're
hopefully, yeah.
so some sort of a
That's good
weird,
news.
a hybrid continuing
Yeah.
resolution or something that may delay some of the signing and then they're okay. So
I used to get that, a lot when I'd see it, and I'd always see it not stopping, like we came to something. This time,
yeah.
not so much. Now that UFO in the sky or whatever that is that going to be a big deal when it comes closer to Earth, that big, huge thing?
I think you're referring to the third interstellar atlas, Three Eye Atlas. No, that's a comet that right
Oh,
now is like 420 million miles away from Earth.
yeah.
The closest it will come is maybe 200 million miles from
So
Earth.
it's not a huge
It's
thing.
not an extraterrestrial ship. It's a
I often felt
natural.
it was a ship, but I'm not very good with ET stuff. So,
Yeah, no, my actually my team, my ET team, they had a good laugh over the whole thing because they said, do you honestly think that we'd hurl a comet at Earth? We have cloaking technology. If we really
yeah.
wanted to do that, there are sensors. There are sensors on that comet. They've been placed there by extraterrestrials just to
Okay.
monitor
Maybe
where
that's
it's
what they're
going.
seeing. Yeah.
There's sensors, but that there's nobody piloting it. It's a big rock. It's a natural space phenomena, and it's third interstellar atlas because Atlas stands. The word Atlas actually stands for something. It's a science organization. So I forget what the nomenclature is for ATLAS, but this is like the third comet that they looked at. They actually had one and two. This is the third one. So.
Okay. Okay. So you guys, I said I thought it was an old ship, maybe just rolling out there, but that makes sense what you're saying. So no, no shutting down the government because the ETs are coming. Okay. Do deceased relatives benefit from our prayers and burning candles?
So let me answer that in a way, not directly. So burning candles, for example, that's for the living. When you're on the other side, you see everybody's love and intention. So it doesn't matter whether you do magic tricks to honor your loved one or you go out and take a 10-mile walk. Your intention, the love in your heart is what they see. They actually see that. So a lot of the pomp and circumstance, my team has always said down here, is really for the living.
Okay.
The practices that people do go, oh, I know my mother would have liked that. I burn a candle every day. Mother's probably not all that concerned about that on the other side. She's, you start another life.
Yeah.
So.
He's in paradise. Yeah.
Right, right. But your intention, so even just the simplest love that you send out from your heart or what you think, they receive that like a telephone call.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
What do you see coming up next week?
A number of things, we're getting, I've talked about the AIM strategy on my channel. Last November of last year, my team brought the AIM strategy, the analysis, the investigation, the military, the movement, the S, the separation, what's going on with the administration. But I very much feel like we're in a large part of the M strategy, the movement, the military part of the strategy right now with the meeting that's coming up with the hundreds of military personnel. So that's a big thing. I picked up there's some sort of a disease coming to cattle in the Midwest and the East Coast region. So it's like a cattle disease going to be uncovered here. It's not like mad cow disease, but there's something here that's going to be discovered that's going to take people, cattle ranchers, a step back. They're going to figure this out, but there's some sort of a weird thing happening there. I also picked up, strangely enough, a death in Congress. There's somebody actually in Congress, looks like coming up this week. I think I know who it is. I don't want to say it out loud, but we'll let it play out. I don't want to wish bad on anybody, but there's some sort
Is
of a
it
death
somebody
coming.
that's old or
They're
something that?
old. They're old.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I also see several new countries coming out and endorsing a Palestinian state. You're going to see that announcement coming. It's like more and more gravitating towards this is the right thing to do, the two-state solution. So more countries coming out publicly. I do see that. Also, I saw like a measles outbreak coming here, like on the East Coast region somewhere, like a major kind of measles outbreak. Could be Florida that's going to require like some immediate attention. So a lot of activity there. Last but not least, a lot of earthquake activity in regions that don't always have it, but Indonesia's had some, Russia's had some, but also like Australia's got something coming up. Now, it doesn't cause a tsunami, but it's like earthquake activity that's not normally there. Also, something in Europe, like France and Spain, for earthquakes here. So, kind of an active tectonic
Wow.
plate shift going on this week.
There was a 5.6 up near Oregon. There.
Yeah, yeah.
So speaking of Oregon, real quick, the military's going there. Is there any big hoopla or is everything going to be okay?
I feel it's all going to be okay. That's going to be like a big splash in the pan, kind of a thing. Maybe a lot of hoopla around it. We're sending in troops. They go in, nothing really happens,
Nothing.
and then they leave.
That's what
So
I'm
it's kind of like, yeah, I don't want to completely minimize the effort of having troops go in there, but it looks like in the end analysis, it's like, for what reason? Why did they go in? They had no reason. They left. So
There you go. There you go. And
yeah.
do you have anything you guys want to share?
Yeah, this week they're pretty clear. They're really saying, show the world who you are at this critical time. Stand in your truth because the world will reward you for it and the world needs it. So show the world who you are. Stand in your truth right now. This is the important time to do it.
That's beautiful. Real quick at the end of this, Hedgehog
Mhm.
or Hedgeworth, whatever his name is, having all the generals. Is that just a big show off show?
Well, that is part of the M and the AIM strategy. So what I get on that is this is like what Germany did during their conflict times. They're actually going to ask like the major generals to show allegiance to a president. And right, the military, they show allegiance to the Constitution, to the population of the United States. But this is going to be a big trigger factor for a lot of the major military to say we got a real problem. And I'm going to be careful what I say here, but
Yeah.
eventually, the 45 administration is not going to be around. They're not going to be around.
Yeah. I always saw like top brass taking him in, Trump in, because he's going against the Constitution.
Yeah, this is a deciding point for the military. I mean, they already know where they stand, but the very fact that they're going to try to push us and say, like, show allegiance to 45 or you're out of here kind of thing. And
Yeah.
they're not going to, the military's not going to take that very well.
No, in fact, there was some military guy on YouTube saying, "Listen, we learn about the Constitution. We have to be solid with the Constitution, and if they think they're going to pull this, it's not going to work out."
Yeah.
So,
It's devastating what's happening to the country, obviously.
yeah,
This administration's really tearing down everything that the country stands for. Yeah.
yeah.
Robert
Well,
Redford,
and
Robert Redford
yeah,
I'd say Robert Redford, before he passed away, he put out some sort of a blurb about his analysis of what was going on in the U.S. And he said, "But we have a leader now in the White House that doesn't respect any human rights and doesn't really care about anybody but himself, and
yeah,
is actually putting the world in a very dangerous place." They had some very Robert Redford kind of in closing words that he had before he passed away had some very good things to say. They were critical, they were accurate, and it was well said. I think if you Google it, you'll probably be able to find it. So,
yeah. And even the people that loved Trump, they said a lot of them didn't. They wanted the ones who were criminals to be exported. They didn't want regular Joe Blow or grandmothers or whatever. They didn't want all that. That wasn't what they were into. Although Nancy Mace says she loves to go home and watch YouTube and see the people being ripped from their families and shipped off.
yeah, yeah, it's terrible. Well, this is a wake-up call for a lot of people in this country. A lot of people, unfortunately, have been asleep at the wheel of what's been going on. Now it's time to take action. So.
Yeah. So, well, any closing? I mean, you don't have any openings, so
No, just, wonderful to see you again. Wonderful to get together. I know my wife Linda and you kind of chatted up like
yeah,
girlfriends all the time. I'm
yeah,
always
she's
like
so cool.
at the oddest hours, I'm like, who you texting? They go, Linda. So I
Well,
know
her and I think alike. She's very good with information.
exactly. Yeah.
So she gives me the download, the real information. So,
Right.
all right, thank you so much to Linda. I said, hey,
I will. We'll pass along your love and thanks for all you're doing and great to get together again. And we'll see everybody again another month.
all right. You guys, thank you for coming, and we'll catch you on the other side. Cheers.